Hi, Clarity family. Welcome to your reading. Today's reading is called Their Feelings That Can't Stay Hidden, and the Truth Comes Out. And listen, y'all already know how we do it over here. We don't sugarcoat, we don't guess, we don't romanticize confusion. We find out what's really beneath the surface, the stuff they think they're hiding, the stuff they feel but won't say, the stuff that shows up in the energy, whether they like it or not. Because let me tell you something real quick, feelings always tell on themselves. Before we jump in, real quick, because a lot of y'all have been asking, you know, I still have my 3 for $33 personal reading available for a limited time. I said I'd hold it a little longer, and I kept my word. You can ask me any 3 questions about this relationship, this connection, new love, your life path, career, finances, money. Or if you just need grounded life coaching, I got you. And that link is in the description. No pressure, just there if you need it. And also, if you haven't already checked out my new music channel, XO Janai, that's where I pour my heart, my healing, and my real life stories into music. Not all of them are real life, especially the romantic songs, because I haven't experienced that yet. I'm waiting on that really good man to come. So I haven't experienced that yet. But yeah, there's some songs over there like Narcissist and Boundaries and The Sky Now. Those are songs that I really resonate with. So if it resonates, I'd love to have you over there and subscribe when it feels right for you. All right, so let's get into it. I've got 3 cards laid out here. Take a breath. Don't overthink it. Let your intuition do what it does. Pick the card that's calling you the most. The Starborn card, the Peacock Priest and Priestess card, and the Earth Goddess. Now, when you're ready, let's get straight into it. Hi, Clarity family. Welcome to your reading. This reading is called Their Feelings That Can't Stay Hidden. The Truth Comes Out. And listen, today we're finding out what this person really feels beneath the surface. Not what they show, not what they say, but what's actually there when the room is quiet and they are alone with their thoughts. Because feelings don't disappear just because someone avoids them. They don't vanish just because someone stays silent. They sit, they build, and eventually they show. So if you're here, there's a reason. This reading is about what's been unspoken and why it hasn't stayed hidden. But real quick, before we go deeper, I want to let you know that I still, for a limited time, have my 3 for $33 personal readings available. A lot of people asked me to hold it a little longer, and I did. You can ask me any 3 questions about this relationship, this connection, new love, your life path, career, finances, money. Or if you just need grounded life coaching, I got you. That link is in the description whenever you're ready. And also, I just want to gently mention my music channel, XO Janai. That's where I express healing, truth, growth, and real life experiences through music. Not all of them are my real life experiences, especially the romantic ones. Those are ones that I aspire to experience. But there are songs on there such as like Narcissist and Boundaries in The Sky Now. Those are like true to my life story. I haven't been in a really let's just say, fulfilling romantic partnership yet, right? Um, but I'm looking forward to that. But there are songs over there that talk about romance and love and stuff like that. So, anyway, if it resonates, I'd love for you to subscribe. No pressure, just alignment. All right. Now, let's talk about your energy. Your energy brought you here to the Starborn card for a reason. And listen, before I even pull another card, I need to say this clearly. The Starborn card core energy is deep. And let me tell you something. There's a phrase tied to this card that says, even the sun doesn't know it's a star. And that is you. This person sees things in you that you don't even fully recognize in yourself. Your light, your depth, your presence. You're humble. You downplay yourself. You critique yourself. And I need you to pause that for a second, because this person notices how you move, how you carry yourself, and how you don't force attention, how you don't beg to be chosen. They see it, they feel it, they just don't say it out loud. Not because it's not real, but because naming it would make it undeniable. Now, here's what we're gonna do. You got 6 more cards to go in this pile, and each one is going to peel back another layer of this person's feelings towards you. We are going to look at what they feel but don't say, what triggers these feelings, why they hold back, and how they actually see you, what's shifting now, and what this energy is building towards. And once we get through the 6th card, I'm going to give you the total energetic frequency of this connection, what this really is, and where it's actually going. All right, let's go ahead and pull the first card. This card is going to show me what they feel, but won't verbalize. All right, again, this card will show me what they feel, but won't verbalize. Card 1. This is success. I'm going to go ahead and pull card 2. And then, of course, we'll tap into both cards together. Card 2 is 2 of Cups. So let's go ahead and start with the energy of success, and then we'll slide here into the energy of the 2 of Cups as it relates to this person. Okay. This card right here is showing me what they feel but won't say out loud. Okay? Now listen to me. This card is success. This isn't surface level success. This isn't money. This isn't ego. This is energetic success. This person feels like being connected to you is a win. It's a win. You represent growth, elevation, alignment, a higher standard. See, because they feel like when they're around you or even thinking about you, they step into a better version of themselves. And that's exactly why they don't verbalize it. Because saying it out loud would mean admitting this matters. You matter. This connection changes me. And that kind of realization, that makes things real. Now, I'm going to go ahead and tap into the energy of the second card, because this feeling doesn't exist by itself. And again, the second card is the 2 of Cups. Let's talk about this. The 2 of Cups is mutual recognition. This isn't one-sided. This isn't imagined. This isn't projected. This person feels chosen by you, seen by you, matched by you. And here's the part they don't say. They don't just feel successful in life around you. They feel successful in love energy around you. It's like, this actually works. This feels balanced. This feels equal. See, the 2 of Cups tells me they feel a natural pairing with you. Not forced, not rushed, not chaotic. You meet them where they are, and that makes them feel capable. Why they don't say this? Because the moment they say, this feels right, they can't hide behind distance anymore. They can't pretend it's casual, and they can't act neutral. Success plus Two of Cups equals a connection that feels aligned and mutual, and that's intimidating when you're used to protecting your heart. So instead of verbalizing it, they sit with it. The truth. What they feel but won't say is this: being connected to you feels like I'm winning emotionally, energetically, and relationally. And feelings like that, they don't stay hidden forever. Okay? So now let's go ahead and let's tap into the energy of card 3. And let's see where these feelings are headed. Let's see if they stay silent. Let's see if there are other feelings that are hidden. Motives, actions, intentions. Thank you, Spirit. What is the energy as it does relate? What's coming through? You got finding myself. And the card says, it was time I went within to find myself again. I need to figure out what I want out of life. I need space. Okay. Listen. What this really means is this. This is not avoidance energy. This is not indifference, and this is not a lack of feeling. This is internal reorientation. What's happening here is that the feelings we just talked about, the success and the Two of Cups, the recognition, the mutuality, those feelings activated something deep in this person. They realized, if this is real, I can't keep living on autopilot. If this matters, I need to be honest with myself. If I step into this, my life has to be intentional. And that realization, that's big. Now, the hidden motive behind the space, let's be very clear. The motive behind the space is clarity, not escape. They are not pulling away to forget you. They're pulling inward to understand themselves. This person isn't asking themselves, this person is asking themselves, what do I actually want? What kind of partner do I want to be? Am I ready to show up consistently? Am I aligned with the life I say I want? You didn't scare them off. You woke them up. Now, how does this affect their actions? Right now, I'll tell you. Right now, the action is internal. Less talking, more thinking, more self-evaluation. But here's the key. This isn't a dead end pause. This is a reset pause. They don't want to move forward half-heartedly. They don't want to promise something they can't sustain. So instead of acting impulsively, they step back to recalibrate. Now, what they are not saying but feeling is this. What they won't say out loud is this. If I choose this connection, I want to choose it fully. I don't want to bring confusion or half effort. I need to be sure of myself first. That's the truth behind the space. Where these feelings are actually headed, these feelings aren't disappearing. They're being processed. They're moving from attraction to intention, curiosity to evaluation, emotion to self-honesty. And that takes time. But it's not random time, it's purposeful time. The bottom line is this. This card tells me the feelings are real. The connection is impactful. And the pause is about alignment. And the intention is to figure out how or if they can show up properly. And this is not someone who feels nothing. This is someone who feels enough to stop and think. And that actually says a lot. Okay, so let's go ahead and tap into the energy of card 4. Card 4 is going to reveal to us something unexpected about what they are feeling, what's hidden, and what they refuse to say, how it will impact this relationship connection. Let's go. Thank you, Spirit. What is the energy as it does relate? This is card 4. And the card is energy. It says, stop trying to please everyone. Everyone is a whole lot of people. Protect your energy. Now, what I'm picking up off the bat with this energy coming through is that you have taken your power back. You are protecting your energy. This person is feeling a little like out of pocket right now. They don't understand what's happening, right? They don't understand the momentum and the connection. But here's the thing. What's really happening here is this. You are no longer overgiving. You're no explaining yourself. And you're no longer bending to keep the peace. You are protecting your energy. And whether you announce that or not, they feel it. Why this feels unexpected to them? Because this person is feeling a little, like I said, out of pocket right now. And they don't fully understand what changed. From their perspective, you are quieter, more self-contained, less reactive, less available for emotional back and forth. And that shift, it caught them off guard because they were used to a version of you that was more open, more accommodating, more responsive. Now you're centered, grounded, self-directed. And that changes the dynamic. What they're feeling but not saying. Here's what they won't say out loud. I don't know where I stand anymore. I feel the distance. I can't read you the way I used to. And instead of admitting that vulnerability, they sit with confusion. Because your boundary didn't come with drama. It came with peace. And peace is hard to argue with. How this impacts the connection? Well, this energy actually shifts the power dynamic. Before, they had time, space, emotional room to decide. Now, they feel the weight of potentially losing access. They feel the change in rhythm. They realize you're not waiting around. This doesn't push them away. It wakes them up. Because when someone protects their energy without anger, it signals growth. Bottom line for card 4. The unexpected truth is this. Your self-respect changed the energy, and they're still adjusting. They're not indifferent. They're not detached. They're recalibrating. Because the version of you they're dealing with now requires intention. And not everyone is used to that. Now let's go ahead and dive into the energy of card 5. And let's see what's coming through. Card 5, as it does relate. I want to go here. Thank you, Spirit. What is the energy as it does relate? Card 5. All right, you got the world, but the world comes out in reverse. Okay. Okay. Listen, let me just explain this. The world reversed and what this really means, okay? Well, upright, the world is completion, closure, a chapter fully closed. But reversed, this is unfinished business. This person does not feel done. They do not feel complete, and they do not feel settled about where things stand with you. There's a sense of something is still open here. This isn't resolved. I thought I'd move on, but I haven't. And they don't like that. What they are feeling internally, what I'm picking up is this. They thought that they were ahead of this emotionally, and they thought they had clarity. They thought they had control. But now they feel like the cycle didn't close the way they expected. And that's uncomfortable for someone who likes to feel composed. Why this card shows up after energy. This is important. Okay. You protecting your energy, them needing space to find themselves, equals the world reverse. Meaning that your growth paused their sense of closure. They assumed time or distance would wrap this up. Instead, it highlighted what's unresolved. Now, what they won't say but feel, here's the unspoken truth. I don't feel finished here. I thought this chapter was done, but it's not. There's still something between us. They may not act on it yet. They may not articulate it clearly, but internally, they feel the loop is still open. How this affects their next move. The world reverse does not mean rushing back. It means reflection, recalibration, reconsideration. They are asking themselves, what did I miss? What did I avoid? What happens if I don't address this? And this is the energy right before a decision. Now, the bottom line for card 5 is that this connection is not complete energetically. Not yet. Something still needs to be understood, acknowledged, or expressed. And the reason it's surfacing now is because you stopped overgiving. You protected your energy and you changed the rhythm. That always exposes what's unresolved. Okay, now let's go ahead and pull the energy for card 6. And let's find out where this connection is headed, what's going on, what else is unresolved with this person. Thank you, Spirit. Card 6. And then we'll tap into the total energetic frequency of this connection. Card 6 is not enough. And the card says, frustrated in relationship, lack of confidence, self-sabotage, fear, ego issues, and jealousy. Okay. Listen, this is not about you. Okay? This is about what's happening inside of them, what's unresolved with this person. That's what it's about. Now, what is unresolved is their internal conflict. They feel the connection, they feel the pull, they feel the unfinished business, but they also struggle with feeling like they're enough and measuring themselves against your growth. Fear of not showing up correctly, fear of vulnerability, ego getting in the way of honesty. And instead of addressing that directly, they get frustrated. Not at you, but at themselves. How this affects the direction of the connection. This card tells me the direction depends on one thing, whether they choose growth or self-sabotage. Right now, they are standing at a crossroads. One path says, I need to get real with myself. I need to heal what makes me feel inadequate, and I need to show up honestly. The other path says, I'll keep protecting my ego. I'll keep avoiding discomfort. I'll pretend this isn't affecting me. And that tension, that's why the energy feels unresolved. The jealousy piece, important. The jealousy here isn't possessive, it's comparative. They see your confidence, your self-respect, your boundaries, and it highlights where they feel unsure. They don't want to lose you, but they're also afraid of not being enough for you. That's the contradiction. Okay, so now let's talk about the total energetic frequency. This connection is about self-worth, timing, emotional maturity, and accountability. It's not shallow. It's not casual. It's a mirror. You stepped into your power. You protected your energy. You stopped overgiving. And that forced them to confront parts of themselves they've been avoiding. And this connection isn't unresolved because of confusion. It's unresolved because growth is being required. Final truth, no sugarcoating. The feelings are real. The connection is significant. The block is internal. And the outcome depends on whether they rise to meet the moment. You're not meant to chase this. You're not meant to fix this. Your role is to stay aligned. If they grow, the connection evolves. And if they don't, the lesson completes. Either way, you don't lose. If this reading resonated and you want clarity specific to your situation, whether it be this connection, a new love, your relationship, your career, your money, or if you just need grounded life coaching, my 3 for $33 personal readings are still available. Link below. And if you want to support me, check out my music channel, XO Janai, here on YouTube, and subscribe when it feels aligned. And thank you for trusting me with your energy. And thank you for being here. I'll see you in the next reading. Hi, Clarity family. Welcome to your reading. This reading is called Their Feelings That Can't Stay Hidden. The Truth Comes Out. And listen, we're not easing into this one. We're jumping straight into what's really going on beneath the surface, the feelings that they act like they've moved past, the feelings they won't admit, the feelings that keep resurfacing when they're alone. Because if you landed on pile 2, this connection is not random and neither is the tension around it. But real quick, before we go deeper, I want to let you know I still, for a limited time, have my 3 for $33 personal reading available. You can ask me any 3 questions about this relationship, this connection, new love, life direction, career, finances, or if you just need grounded clarity. That link is in the description whenever you're ready. And also, another part of my creativity lives on my music channel, XO Janai. If you feel called, go check it out and subscribe. No pressure, just resonance. All right, Pile 2, your energy led you here to the Peacock Priestess for a reason. And this card says, I am enough. Mother, daughter, sister, lover. Now, let me just say this clearly. This person feels something very specific towards you. This person sees you as someone who is whole, not incomplete, not waiting, not needing to be chosen to feel valuable. See, you stand in your identity confidently, and that does something to them. They feel drawn to your self-worth, but at the same time, your wholeness challenges them, because when someone knows they're enough, there's no room for games. You've got 6 cards coming up in this pile. Each card is going to reveal what they feel but won't admit, what they're hiding, what motivates their actions, and where the fear is, what's shifting now, and where this connection is actually headed. And once we get through the 6th card, I'm going to give you the total energetic frequency of this connection, whether this is something that deepens or something that completes. So let's go. All right, let's pull card 1. This card reveals what they feel, but refuse to say. Card 1. Thank you, Spirit. What is the energy as it does relate? You got balance. I'm going to go ahead and pull card 2, and then we will channel both energies together. And you got the Fool, F-O-O-L. Look, y'all, let's go ahead and tap into the energy of the balance, and then we'll slide here to the Fool. All right. Now listen, I'm going to go ahead and tell you what I'm picking up, okay? This person is craving emotional balance right now. Not drama, not chaos, not confusion, balance, okay? They're tired of extremes, tired of feeling pulled in different directions, tired of overthinking what something means instead of letting it be. And here's the part they won't say. You bring balance to their nervous system. Your presence feels grounding. Your energy feels steady. Your vibe feels like peace, not pressure. And that's exactly why they are paying attention. Now, what balance is telling us about their feelings? They feel calmer when they think about you, more centered, more regulated. You don't activate their anxiety. You actually quiet it. And that's rare for them. Which leads us directly into the next card. The Fool. Why this feels scary and exciting at the same time? Because right after balance, we get the Fool. The Fool is new beginnings. But more than that, it's emotional risk. This person feels like being open with you means stepping into the unknown, letting go of control, and trusting instead of calculating. And that's not easy for someone who's used to protecting themselves. The Fool energy says, what if I just jump? What if I stop overthinking? What if this actually works? But here's the thing. How balance plus Fool work together. They don't want chaos, but they also don't want stagnation. So what they're feeling is this internal tug of war. Balance says, move carefully, stay centered. The Fool says, take the leap anyway. And you're right in the middle of that decision. What they are not saying but feeling. Here's the truth they're sitting with. They're saying, this feels good, and that scares me. This feels easy, and I'm not used to that. I want to try, but I don't want to mess it up. So instead of rushing, they pause. Not because they don't feel it, but because they feel it enough to take it seriously. Why this matters for the connection. Balance plus the food tells me this. This connection represents a chance to do things differently, show up more authentically, and stop repeating old patterns. And whether they step into it or hesitate a little longer, the pull is real. They are standing at the edge of something new, and they know it. All right? So, let's go ahead and move into card 3. With card 3, we'll uncover what they're hiding beneath this hesitation and the part they haven't even admitted to themselves yet. You got playing games. The card says, this is a game to me. The way I'm acting, responding, or posting it to get your attention. Wow. A game is crazy, right? Thank you, Spirit. Now listen, because this is important. What this really means, this person is not confused about their feelings. They're conflicted about how to express them. So instead of being direct, they test. They watch how you respond. They notice what gets your attention. They post with intention. They pull back to see if you'll lean in. And not because they don't care, but because they want validation without vulnerability. And the part they haven't admitted to themselves is this. This is the truth they don't want to face. They are afraid of being seen, wanting you more than you want them. So they try to control the narrative. They play it cool. They keep it casual. They act unbothered. But energetically, they're watching everything. How this connects back to balance plus the fool. Remember, they want balance, they want peace, but the fool energy wants them to take a risk. Playing games is the middle ground they've chosen. It feels safer than honesty. It gives them a sense of control. It protects their ego. But it doesn't actually bring them closer to you. It just delays the moment of truth. This is not malicious manipulation. This is emotional immaturity meeting real feelings. They don't know how to say, I care. I'm scared. I want this to work. So they communicate indirectly. Now, what that means for you, your calm, your grounded energy, your lack of reaction, it's already disrupting this behavior because games only work when someone plays back and you're not. You're not. All right? We're going to move into card 4 where we will uncover. We'll uncover how they actually see you while they're doing all of this. And that's going to explain a lot. Let's go. Card 4. What is the energy? As it does relate to what's coming through. Card 4. Possibilities. The card says, focus your attention on what could go right. When you learn to imagine the best case scenarios, you get to enjoy an experience twice. Okay. What possibility really means here? This person is starting to shift out of fear mode. They're no longer just thinking, what if this goes wrong? What if I mess this up? Or what if I lose control? Now they're asking, what if this actually works? What if this is different? What if I don't have to play games anymore? And that's a big shift, because earlier they were testing, they were watching, they were trying to get your attention indirectly. But now they are imagining a version of this connection where things flow, communication is honest, and they don't have to perform. Now, how this connects to playing games. This is important. They are realizing that the games, they don't actually lead anywhere. And the moment someone starts thinking in terms of possibility, they also start realizing, I could lose this if I don't step up. So the hesitation begins to soften. What they're feeling but not saying. Here's what they won't say out loud yet. There's real potential here. This could be something meaningful. I don't want to mess this up. They are mentally rehearsing better outcomes now, imagining conversations, moments, what ifs. That's the beginning of emotional honesty. Now, why this matters for the connection? Possibility means the door is still open, not just barely open, but consciously being looked at. They are no longer acting purely from ego or fear. They're starting to lead with curiosity, and curiosity is what eventually replaces games. Now we're going to move into card 5, where we'll see what's actually blocking them from fully stepping into these possibilities. The internal conflict that still hasn't been resolved. Let's go. What is the energy as it does relate? What's coming through card 5? You got not today. Not today. The card says not dealing, hurt, avoiding a conversation, a call, or a person. Boundaries, still angry. Okay. Listen, Clarity family. Because this is very specific. What not today really means. This is emotional avoidance, not emotional absence. They are very aware of the feelings, and they are very aware of the tension. They are very aware that something needs to be addressed, and they just don't want to deal with it right now. Not because they don't care, but because they don't trust themselves to handle it cleanly yet. Now, what they're actually struggling with. This person is still carrying unresolved hurt, frustration, lingering anger, mostly at themselves. And instead of risking a conversation that could expose that, they choose distance. They tell themselves, I'll talk later. I'll deal with it another time. Now's not the moment. That's the block. How this connects to possibilities. Well, here's the thing. This is important. They see potential. They feel the possibilities. But fear says, if I open this conversation before I'm ready, I might ruin it. So they delay. Not today, not yet, not now. What this means for the connection. This card is a pause, not a no. They are actively setting emotional boundaries with themselves. They don't want to react from hurt. They don't want to speak from anger. They don't want to self-sabotage. So they wait. What they won't admit, here's the truth they're sitting with. I care, but I'm not ready to talk. I need to get my emotions straight first. I don't want to say the wrong thing. That's what Not Today is protecting. All right, we got one final card. Coming up for pile 2. Card 6 is going to tell us where this connection is actually headed. Once this pause runs its course, the direction, the shift, and what ultimately happens next. Let's go. What is the energy as it does relate? And let's see what's coming through. All right. And you got Judgment. Okay. All right. The card says Acceptance, Awakening, Assessment. Now, what this really means, judgment is not about criticism. Judgment is about reckoning. This person is reaching a moment where they can no longer avoid the truth. Okay, they can no longer avoid the truth about their feelings, about their behavior, about what they've been doing instead of being honest. Judgment says, I see it now. I can't unsee it. Something has to change. This is the moment where the fog lifts. Now, how this connects to Not Today. Remember, card 5 was Not Today. Avoidance, delay, emotional boundaries. Judgment is what comes after avoidance runs out. They've had space. They've had the time. They sat with their feelings. And now they feel the internal pressure to respond differently. What decision is being made? Judgment is a crossroads card. This person is deciding, do I step up and speak honestly? Do I take accountability for the mixed signals? Do I stop playing games and face the connection head on? Because judgment doesn't allow neutrality anymore. Silence becomes a choice. Action becomes necessary. What they are ready to admit, even if quietly, is this. Here's what's surfacing for them. Here's what is going on. They are saying to themselves, I haven't been fair. I've been avoiding instead of communicating. This connection deserves clarity. They are reviewing their actions and the consequences. That's judgment. Now let's talk about the total energetic frequency of this connection, okay? Because this connection is about self-worth, accountability, emotional maturity, and honest decision making. You already know who you are. You already stand in your value. And this connection is testing whether they are willing to rise to that level. Judgment tells me the cycle is reaching a turning point. Avoidance won't sustain, and clarity is coming one way or the other. Either they speak honestly, take responsibility, and meet you with intention, or the lesson completes. The door closes cleanly, and you move forward lighter. The final truth for pile 2. This connection doesn't stay in limbo. Judgment guarantees movement. What's been delayed will be decided. What's been avoided will be addressed. What's been hidden will be seen. And the most important part, you don't have to force any of it. The energy is already doing the work. If this reading resonated and you want personal clarity, my 3 for $33 personal readings are still available. Link below. And if you want to explore another part of my creativity, check out XO Janai and subscribe if it resonates. Thank you for being here. Thank you for trusting the process. I'll see you in the next reading. Hi, Clarity family. Welcome to your reading. This reading is called There Are Feelings That Can't Stay Hidden. The Truth Comes Out. Now listen, if you chose pile 3, this is not about curiosity. This is about why this person feels exposed around you and why the energy shifts when you walk into the room, why they can't play the same games with you that they play with other people. And this pile is about power, presence, and truth. And we're going to find out exactly what's going on beneath the surface. Before we go deeper, real quick, I still, for a limited time, have my 3 for $33 personal readings available. You can ask me any 3 questions about this relationship, this connection, new love, your life direction, career, finances, money, or if you need grounded clarity or life coaching, that link is in the description whenever you're ready. And also, another part of my creativity lives on my music channel, XO Janai. And if you like truth, healing, confidence, and real life energy expressed through music, go check it out and subscribe if it resonates. All right, now let's get into your energy. Pile 3, your energy brought you here to the Earth Goddess card for a reason. And this card says, love who you are. Let me just say this plainly. This person feels unsettled by how grounded you are. You don't question your worth. You don't shrink to be liked. You don't perform for approval. And for someone who's used to controlling the emotional temperature, that's uncomfortable. What they feel about you, real talk. And this person feels drawn to you, attracted to you, curious about you, but also checked by you because you don't need them. You choose or you walk. And that kind of energy, it shifts the entire dynamic. You've got 6 cards coming up in this pile, and each card is going to tell us what they feel but won't admit, what triggers them about this connection, what they're hiding, where the power struggle sits, what changes now, and where this connection is actually headed. And once we hit the 6th card, we're going straight into the total energetic frequency. No dragging it out, just the truth. So let's go. What is the energy as it does relate? We're going to go ahead and pull card 1. Thank you, Spirit. You got nature. Let's go ahead and pull card 2. And after card 2, we will channel both energies together. And you got the world. So let's go ahead and tap into the energy of nature and then slide here into the world. All right. Now listen. This person feels grounded when they think about you. Not excited in a chaotic way, not anxious, not unstable. Grounded. You feel real to them. You don't feel like fantasy. You don't feel like illusion. You don't feel like something they have to perform for. Your energy feels natural, calming, familiar in a soul level way. And being connected to you feels like coming back to themselves. And that's powerful. Okay. Now, let's slide into the world. The world is completion, wholeness, integration. This person feels like you represent a full circle moment in their life. Like, I've been through things and this feels different. This feels mature. This feels like something that actually fits. You don't feel like a chapter they rush through. You feel like a chapter that changes how the book reads, how nature plus the world work together. This is important. Nature says, this feels easy. This feels right. The world says, this feels complete. This feels aligned. Together, these cards tell me that they don't just feel attracted to you, they feel settled by you. And that scares someone who's used to chaos. Because when something feels this grounded, it quietly asks, am I ready to stop running? What they won't say, but feel clearly, here's what they're sitting with internally. This could actually be it. This feels like something real. This feels like the kind of connection you don't get often. And that realization, it lands heavy, not overwhelming, significant. Now, why this matters for this connection? Nature plus the world tells me this, that this connection isn't about sparks that burn out. It's about roots, something that can grow, something that can last, something that requires presence, not games. And they feel that, even if they haven't said it yet. All right, next we're going to move into card 3. Well, we will uncover what's making them hesitate, even though this feels so aligned. The internal block that hasn't been voiced yet. Let's keep going. Card 3, what is the energy as it does relate? And you got, you're so smart. The card says, your intellect really turns me on. You're so smart and I really enjoy our conversations. Pause, right? This is about the way you communicate, the way you express yourself, right? And this energy is not to be taken lightly. Let me just say this. Your intelligence to them is attractive, okay? But what this really means is that this person is not just attracted to you physically. They are mentally stimulated by you. Your mind is what hooks them. The way you think, the way you speak, the way you connect ideas, the way you see things. You don't just talk to talk. You say something. And that does something to them. Now, why this hits different for them? This person has had attraction before. But this feels engaging. They don't feel bored around you. They don't feel like they're carrying the conversation. They don't feel like they're performing intelligence. They feel met. And that's rare. What they won't admit, but feel clearly. Here's the part they don't say out loud. I'm drawn to how you think. And talking to you makes me feel sharper. You challenge me in a good way. See, because you stimulate their curiosity. You keep their attention. And attention is intimacy. Now, how this connects back to nature plus the world is this. Nature, remember the earlier cards, right? Nature equals this feels natural and grounding. The world equals this feels complete and significant. Now add, you're so smart. That tells me that this connection isn't just calm. It isn't just meaningful. It's mentally alive. You don't drain them. You activate them. And that's why this connection stays on their mind longer than they expect. The bottom line for card 3, they're attracted to your intelligence. your insight, your ability to converse deeply, your mental presence. This isn't surface level interest. This is, I like being in your headspace. And once someone feels that, they don't forget it easily. All right, now we're moving into card 4, where we're going to uncover what this mental attraction makes them want to do and where it's pushing the connection next. Let's do it. Thank you, Spirit. What is the energy as it does relate? Card 4. You got happiness. And a card says, your thinking will either make your happiness or take your happiness. You choose. That's deep, huh? Your thinking will either make your happiness or take your happiness. You choose. Now listen, because this is layered, what this means for their feelings, this person is becoming more aware of their own mindset. They are realizing that their thoughts, their assumptions, more importantly, their assumptions, because it's the type of person that does assume a lot, and their overthinking are directly impacting how happy they feel, especially when it comes to you. They are starting to see that the tension here isn't coming from the connection itself. It's coming from how they are interpreting it, what they're struggling with internally. This person goes back and forth. One moment they think, this feels good. I enjoy this. This brings me peace. And the next moment, what if I mess this up? What if I lose control? What if I overinvest? And that back and forth, that's what's been blocking their happiness, not you. So why this is a turning point? Happiness is a conscious card. It shows me that they are reaching a point where they have to decide. Do I let myself enjoy this, or do I keep sabotaging what feels good? They're realizing that joy requires permission. And for someone used to guarding their emotions, that's a big realization. Now, how this connects to the previous cards. Let's connect the dots. Nature. You feel grounding and real. The world. This feels meaningful and complete. You're so smart. You mentally stimulate them. Happiness. Now they see that their mindset determines whether they let this grow. This connection has the potential to bring them real happiness, but only if they stop overthinking it. What they won't say out loud. Here's the quiet truth. I like how I feel when I'm connected to you. I just need to stop getting in my own way. And that's what this card is saying. All right, next we're going to move into card 5, where we will uncover what still threatens this happiness, the lingering fear or pattern that hasn't fully released yet. Let's keep going. What is the energy as it does relate to what's coming through? And you got Hammer. The card says sabotage, rebuilding, interrogation, repetitive persistence, and working on it. Just like they sabotaged their happiness, right? This makes a whole lot of sense. So this card is loud, okay? Now, what Hammer really means is that this person has a pattern of breaking things down aggressively. When something matters, they poke it, they test it, they overanalyze it, they question it from every angle. And not because they want to destroy it, but because they're trying to control the outcome. And that's where the sabotage comes in. How this shows up in their behavior. This person replays conversations, interrogates motives, yours and theirs, and they revisit the same thoughts over and over, and they try to fix feelings instead of feeling them. They hammer at the connection mentally, and eventually that pressure creates cracks. Not because the connection is weak, but because they don't know when to stop pushing. The duality of this card is important. Here's the part most people miss. Hammer is not just sabotage. It's also rebuilding. This person actually wants to do better. They want to work on it. They want to get it right. But their approach is forced instead of flow, interrogation instead of trust, persistence instead of presence. So they exhaust themselves and sometimes the connection. How this threatens the happiness card. Remember, happiness said, your thinking will either make your happiness or take it. Hammer is what happens when thinking takes over. They think too much. They push too hard. They try to solve emotions like a problem. And happiness doesn't respond well to pressure. What they haven't admitted to themselves. Here's the truth underneath hammer. They haven't admitted, I'm afraid of losing this. I don't trust myself to just let it be. And if I don't stay on top of it, I might fall apart. So they keep working at it, even when rest would help more. Now, how this connects to you, Earth Goddess energy, right? And this is where the contrast shows. You are grounded, steady, present. You don't hammer. You don't force. You don't interrogate feelings to the end. So this card highlights the imbalance, your calm versus their intensity. And that's the final lesson before the outcome. All right, so we got one last card coming up for pile 3. Card 6 is going to tell us where this connection is headed after this pattern runs its course and whether the rebuilding sticks or whether the cycle completes. Let's finish this strong. Let's go. What is the energy as it does relate? What's coming through? Card 6. All right, you got Page of Pentacles. This, of course, is Earth energy, y'all. So this is about balanced giving, balanced effort, balanced energy. This card tells me that after all that overthinking, after the hammering, after the sabotage and rebuilding cycles, this connection is being pushed towards fair exchange. No more one-sided effort, no more uneven emotional labor, no more guessing games. Now, what this means for them, that this person is starting to understand something very clearly. If I want access to this energy, I have to show up equally. They are realizing you don't overextend. You don't chase. You don't give without return. And Earth Goddess energy doesn't pour endlessly into empty space. So the Page of Pentacles shows adjustment. They are learning to meet you halfway and give back what they receive and stop taking your presence for granted. How this connects to Hammer. This is the upgrade. Hammer showed forcing, interrogation, pushing, right? The Page of Pentacles says, let me stop breaking this down and start showing up correctly. This is effort with awareness. It's not frantic and not ego-driven. It's intentional. Now, what they won't say but feel. Here's the real quiet, the realization setting in. They're saying, I can't keep taking without giving. If I want this, I need to invest. This person deserves balance. and that's growth. Now, let's talk about the total energetic frequency. This connection is about power, balance, and self worth. You came in grounded, you stayed rooted, you didn't chase clarity, you embodied it. And that forced the energy to adjust. The Page of Pentacles tells me that the universe is correcting the imbalance. The effort levels are being recalibrated, and this connection can only move forward if it's mutual. No more confusion, no more uneven giving. Either the exchange becomes fair or the lesson completes cleanly. The final truth here for pile 3. Earth goddess energy doesn't demand. It receives what matches it. And now the question isn't, will they give? The question is, can they give consistently? Because that's the standard now. If this reading resonated and you want clarity specific to your situation, this relationship, a new love, your career, your money, or you just need grounded life coaching, my 3 for $33 personal readings are still available. Link below. And thank you for being here. Thank you for choosing yourself. I'll see you in the next reading.